Hi, good evening. Thank you for coming tonight. I will be brief because I know you really want to hear from Mr. Burgess and the panelists. But I'm really proud to be part of a community that's so intentional and thoughtful about preparing our students for success, whether that's, preparing the pre-Kers to come into picture day, preparing our fifth graders to transition to middle school. And this evening is just one step of many to help support the fifth graders with that successful transition to middle school here at St. Andrews. As you know, your students completed a shadow day either yesterday or today. And for those of you who have had a chance to talk to your students, I hope you've heard good things. Unfortunately, I was out sick yesterday and didn't have a chance to really check in with the students today, but I did have a chance to check in with their teachers this afternoon. And here are some things that they heard from their students. They really liked Mr. Butler, who is our sixth grade English teacher, because he was chill. They were a little bit surprised that they got to gamble in math, which was a probability lesson. And they confided in their teachers that the middle school Spanish teacher knows English, but she only speaks in Spanish. So please ask your students about their time in middle school. I know they had lots of questions that they submitted in advance, and they got to meet with Mr. Burgess and have some of those answered and learn about our trips and all the exciting fun things about middle school. So I know in some ways this transition seems a long way off, but we really want to demystify middle school for them so it doesn't feel like a big scary thing, and they can begin to feel confident about this change that will be coming at the end of the school year. And as they're in their last semester here at lower school, they can be sort of confident fifth graders. So in the years I've been at St. Andrews, this is my third year here, so I've seen your students move from being third graders up through fifth graders, seen them increase in their independence, in their responsibility, and I know that that trajectory will continue in middle school. So it's been a pleasure to see them grow, and I'm looking forward to a few more months with them before handing them off to Mr. Burgess in middle school. So I'd like to turn it over to our head of middle school, Mr. Tom Burgess.
Thank you, everyone. I wasn't going to use the microphone, but we have a live audience. I think it's 800 million people in this room. So the microphone's going to be helpful for them. And we will release the recording later, as well as a slideshow, so you don't need to take photos of the slides with your phones. We're going to go quickly, and maybe I try to answer some questions that were sent in advance in the presentation. Maybe have a little time, a few minutes for questions. So I'm going to go pretty quickly through our slide presentation. Our program in the middle school is based on 5 key adolescent needs. And if you look at these are really kind of human needs. Autonomy, competence, relationships, safety, and fun. These are things that we all need in our lives, especially middle schoolers. Autonomy, they want to be more independent. They're not quite so sure they like the idea of having to be more responsible, but part of our goal in our program is to help them develop that independence and also a sense of, if I'm going to be independent, I have to take responsibility. Competence. There's a lot to competence. Self-advocacy, leadership, executive functioning, growth mindset, but really it's just, we all have a need, and middle schoolers have a need to feel good that I can do something well. I can do school well, I can do math well, I can do sports well, I can do music or art or something, social skills. I can do something well. We need to feel, that helps us feel good about who we are as a person. And in middle school, adolescents, they're sometimes they seem like they're grown up, or like to pretend they are, but really they do have a lot of self-doubt, and we want to help them develop a sense of competence. Relationships, they love you more than anyone, but in middle school it's going to seem like they care more about their friends than they do about you. And they might at the moment, okay? Because relationships are really important to middle school adolescents. Safety, they want to feel safe, not just physically safe, but also emotionally safe. That if they make a mistake, nobody's going to laugh at them, okay? They need to feel that they're in a safe environment at school. And also fun. They like to have fun. This is a middle school dance. We're having another middle school dance coming up. This is one of our dances from last year. We're having another one coming up this Friday. And actually I met with the 5th graders today and yesterday, and that was one of their questions. We're gonna have dances? I said, yes, and they loved that. And then they said, are we gonna have puberty classes? And I said, yes, and they went, oh. All right, look, let's move on. Okay, we also look in our program at developing the types of skills that we know they're gonna need, not just the hard skills and knowledge, but also what it means. Here's some research from Google Corporation. What it means to be an effective leader, what it means to be an effective team member. So we focus on those things in our program. We focus on social and emotional learning skills, self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, logical, responsible decision-making. We use, as much as possible, logical, natural consequences if kids make choices that aren't the greatest choices. And we have a new SEL program, you're maybe familiar with that from our newsletter, called the Fly 5, that's helping really focus on these social and emotional learning skills. One of the main ways we do that is through advisory. That's kind of their school family, small group. They meet every day. It's like their homeroom teacher. And they meet daily for 20 to 40 minutes, focuses on social and emotional learning. We do digital citizenship classes, community building activities, student-led conferences. When you come to a middle school conference, how many of you are middle school parents already or have been? Okay, so many of you know this, but your child, the goal is that they're doing most of the talking. In the fall conferences, they meet with each teacher. In the spring, the student actually gets up in front and leads a presentation to you and their advisor like I am to you right now. Daily schedule, a quick look. Advisory every day, chapel twice a week, just like in lower school. Wednesday is middle school chapel. We have a little unique, we've made a change this year. On Wednesdays and Thursdays, instead of 45-minute classes, we have only 3 periods a day, so they might have English, science, and Spanish on Wednesday, and maybe math, social studies, and music on Thursday. Those are longer, 65 to 70-minute blocks. Core subjects, I highlighted Spanish here because Spanish becomes a core subject in middle school, but we start at ground zero because we actually have new students coming in. So students who've been at St. Andrews have a good foundation and comfort level with Spanish, but we really start grammatically at ground zero. PE 3 times a week. One of those days is running day. They love it. Love running day because they get to run for 30 minutes. Music twice a week. Art, religion, exploratory. That's something we have new this year. 6th graders take coding or executive functioning skills. Oh, they love that one too. That's for helping them develop their organizational skills. And a wellness class to help them learn about stress and how their body and their mind are connected. Sustained silent reading, we have a reading period. We have office hours where they can go once a week and get extra help from their teacher. Morning break is 20 minutes, so that's a little bit shorter than lower school break is 30 minutes. We have a lunch break of 45 minutes, except 2 days a week on Wednesdays and Thursdays we have an extended lunch. It's 15 minutes longer so we can have clubs and orchestra and choir and other activities that occur during the lunch break. Again, we'll send this slideshow out so you can take a closer look if you like. Now let's dig into some questions that the parents always bring up. Math. What are our pathways in math and how do you get placed on a particular pathway? Well, first of all, we have a pathway. Our regular pathway is actually accelerated compared to public schools. 80% of the public school students in the United States take algebra in grade 9. We have 100% who take it by grade 7 or 8. So our regular path is actually an accelerated path. Our advanced path gets to geometry by grade 8, and then both grade levels can get to AP Calculus by 11th or 12th grade. Keeping in mind that about 15% of students in the United States actually end up taking calculus. So they can get there if they want, but in the end, most students actually don't. Okay, only about 15-20% across the country. A little higher here in the Bay Area with a different demographic here than across the country. How are they placed? In 5th grade at the end of this year, they'll take a placement test. All students will take a placement test. We look at, 3 different data points: placement test, their MAP assessment, and their performance, including their mindset, habits, and maturity. Sometimes kids may be very capable, but they're just not there yet to take on an accelerated course, but they have a chance to catch up if they want. Let me go back there. So they can be placed in 5th grade. They can also, if they're not quite ready in 5th grade, at the end of 5th, they can be placed after 6th grade into algebra. Okay? And it doesn't show it here, but they could potentially take an algebra course. If they're still in the regular path and they want to get to geometry, they would actually have to take an algebra course. Over the summer, we had 2 kids do it this year, and take a algebra placement test at the end of the summer to place into geometry. So there's flexibility every year. And we have almost as many kids who take a step back as we do who try to go forward. Because some kids realize, hey, I don't need to. We're on track for AP Calculus anyway, so there's really no need to have that additional stress. Some kids and families choose not to do that. 6th grade, if they're placed, we have a pretty good placement record, but we do observe them in the first few weeks, and they could be moved as well. Spanish, we do acceleration in our program. It is a core subject, so it's not a special, it's a core subject. Most of our students place into Spanish 2 or Spanish 3 by the time they get to high school. It's an immersive environment. The comment that Nicole made about she speaks English, because in class, they speak Spanish. Now, it works because they hear the same thing over and over, very simple phrases over and over again until they understand what those mean. They learn through culture. Here's a Dia de los Muertos altar. 7th and 8th grade, there's an acceleration option. Kids at the end of 6th grade can choose to take a placement test. They don't have to. Some kids do, some kids don't, to place into the accelerated class, which just moves at a very fast pace. We have an optional summer Spain immersion trip for 7th and 8th graders as well. We had over 50 kids apply this year, 30 kids will be going. We give the priority goes to 8th graders. Service learning is a big part of our program. We spend 2 days a year, one in the fall, one in the spring, leaving school to go do community service. Our city forest in 6th grade is an environmental organization. 7th grade goes to Sacred Heart Community Services, and 8th grade goes to an elementary school, Santee Elementary School. So these develop a sense of leadership and care for our community and our environment. Class trips, we have overnight trips. Camp Santa Cruz, we go do ropes course in the redwoods over the mountains towards Santa Cruz in Santa Cruz County. In 7th grade, we go to Monterey Bay. and we go do marine science activities. And in 8th grade is our big trip to Washington, D.C., which is one of the highlights of kids. When kids come back in high school, that's one of their highlights. Almost every child says, oh, the Washington, D.C. trip was a highlight. Another thing I want to point out is that we're a K-8 school. We get questions sometimes like, are you going to ever build a high school? And our answer is no. There's a number of reasons for that. There's nothing in the plans for that. But one of the key reasons is that as a K-8 school, we believe that our kids in middle school, being part of a K-8 school rather than a separate middle school or part of a K-12 school, they have a real chance to develop leadership. There's many different ways they can develop leadership, but they're kind of the top dogs of middle school or of the school here, and it's just a different culture and climate than in a separate middle school or in a K-12 school. Homework. We want homework to be meaningful, okay? If it's not meaningful or if it's too much, kids get bored, they get tired, and there's a lot of research that shows that beyond 20 minutes, the way our brain works, we have attention for 20 minutes. You might be saying, you're wishful thinking, my child, 20 minutes attention on something, but that's just the way our brains work. 20 minutes per subject. We do not have homework in every class every night. In 6th grade, we usually have 30 to 60 minutes homework per night. In 7th and 8th grade, 60 to 90 minutes per night, plus independent reading on top of that. That's the maximum target. Beyond that, it's just a waste of time, really, because there's a lot of research that shows that it's just diminishing returns beyond that length of time. We want to make sure kids get enough sleep at night. We tell you as parents, please have your kids turn off their devices by 8:30, okay? If they're not done with their homework, we want them to be self-advocates. They can email their teacher, I didn't get to finish my homework, can I finish tomorrow or the next day, over the weekend? And the teacher will always say yes to reinforce that self-advocacy. We also do retakes, so if you had a busy week and you had a soccer game and you also had grandma's birthday and you didn't get to study for your test, okay, you don't do well enough, you can retake that test after you've spent a little extra time making sure you learned what you didn't learn as well the first time. We have a strong high school preparation counseling program. Many of our students attend public schools. The large majority attend private schools. But we do a lot. In 6th grade, we don't really talk about high school with the kids because they're just transitioning to middle school. We're focused on work habits and skills and so forth. In grade 7, we have the high school fair. Has anybody attended the high school fair before? A few of you? Okay. And so there's some different, we have a lot on the docket for supporting students and families with the high school preparation and counseling to help them find good choices for high schools. Here's a little chart showing where most of our students go. You can see that about 3/4 to 80% attend the Catholic schools in our area, which are very similar to St. Andrews in terms of their mission. Mitty, Bellarmine, St. Francis Notre Dame, Presentation High Schools also up here. And so, but then we have public schools and other private schools. Last year's class had an 86% admission rate to Catholic high schools. That's higher than the Catholic students. So the Catholic high schools, they put us up there among their top schools. So we're very fortunate. We've developed those relationships, but that's our students performed very well. 74% ended up attending a Catholic high school last year. 10 different high schools. Let me make a note though that in the last 5 years, we've had students go to 34 different high schools. That's a good thing. That means that high schools like our students, but it also means that I think we're doing a pretty good job helping to make sure they're finding a school that's a good fit for them because, you know, Bellarmine or Notre Dame or St. Francis is not the best fit for everybody. St. Francis is a great fit for Trevor, and you're going to talk to Trevor later, but it's not the best fit for everybody. So I think it's a good thing that they, in the last 5 years, they've gone to 34 different high schools. What do the high school admissions officers say about our students? They say that our kids are mission appropriate, particularly at the Catholic schools, coming from an Episcopal school, faith-based environment. They have strong academic preparation, they do well academically. They have really good communication skills, they contribute actively on campus in classrooms, as well as outside the classrooms on teams and clubs and ensembles and so forth, and they also demonstrate good character. All right, so I like to think, you know, when people go fishing, they find a fishing hole and then they go back again next year if they catch a good fish. I like to think that we're a good fishing hole for the high school, so they keep coming back to catch really good fish, our St. Andrews graduates. All right, that was a really quick overview. Again, we'll share these slides with you. If you're interested in any specific aspects, we're going to start our panel pretty soon, but I could take a couple questions if anybody would like. Yes?
Do you need to be in the accelerated Spanish to go on the immersion trip?
No. We have 7th graders who are not in the advanced and going on the trip. Any questions? If you have more questions later, I'm sure the panel will answer a lot of them, but if you have questions for me later, feel free to email me or stop by. I look forward to getting to know all of you better. All right, thank you. Have a good evening.
You have representation in front of you from middle school all the way through senior and high school tonight. So we're kind of going to give you a breadth of perspective on what St. Andrews has meant and what the transition has been to middle school and to high school. So very grateful to all of you for taking your time to be here. I know how valuable this evening time is. So we're gonna actually start, I know, with we're gonna go youngest to oldest is how we're gonna do it. So we're gonna start with a 6th grader who is gone through this transition most recently. And so if you don't mind, Aria, starting us off, and then we'll have your parents start. I'm gonna hand you a mic.
Hello, my name is Aria. I'm in 6th grade. I came in 3rd grade to St. Andrews. The 6th grade transition has been amazing. I thought there was going to be more homework than there originally was. It's actually pretty easy doing all of it before tomorrow, the next day that it's due. One thing I also struggled with at the beginning was lockers. I couldn't really open my locker and I had to keep on asking my friends to do it. But then I eventually figured it out.
Hi, my name is Katyusha and I'm Arya's mom. As she mentioned, we joined when she was in 3rd grade, and it has been an amazing 4 years. And my son is also in the 3rd grade right now, but I have seen the transition from him, both my kids. It has been really wonderful, and they have become really independent, especially my older one. I really love how the program is structured so that they can be very independent. And she has been doing great so far, so I really enjoy being here.
Hello, my name is Caitlin, and I'm in 8th grade right now. I joined in 4th grade, and big challenge for me when I joined was I joined during the pandemic year, during online learning. And I was a new school and I didn't know what to expect, but all the teachers and the students were really nice and they all supported me, and it was a great experience.
I'm Kirsten King, Caitlin's mom, and Connor, who is my son, but as Mr. Burgess said, usually the teenagers don't really want to say yes to their parents. So you will hear from him in a bit. As Caitlin mentioned, we transitioned in 2020, so right in the heart of the pandemic, but I would say, especially for Connor, who really enjoyed rolling out of bed and doing distance learning at home, the transition was seamless once we got everybody on campus. In terms of middle school, I'll let him talk about transitioning to high school. But in general, you know, we couldn't be more thrilled that we came to St. Andrews for middle school. It has prepared them social, emotionally, but also I feel very strongly academically. Connor was prepared and Caitlin is prepared for next year.
Yeah, so I'm currently in the 10th grade attending Bellarmine College Preparatory. So just some thoughts on St. Andrews. I really enjoyed the program here. It was a really good time. I learned a ton, and I feel like it did set me up for high school well. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I met a ton of friends, and I still am very close with them to today. They make up my core friend group even into high school. In terms of how it's prepared me for high school, the curriculum was at St. Andrews is not easy by any means, especially for middle schools. It is an advanced pace. I think the best example was the math for me. I went into Algebra 2 honors at Bellarmine. And while it is a big difference compared to middle school, I think the accelerated pace is very good and very similar to that in high school, and that helped me transition a lot and made it very seamless. In terms of another aspect was Spanish. The Spanish program at St. Andrews is really good and it prepped me really well for high school. I'm still reviewing some of the stuff that Profe taught me to this day, which it helps a ton.
Hello, my name is Lila. I'm in 8th grade and I joined St. Andrews in 6th grade. For me, the transition was a lot smoother than I thought it would be because my advisor helped me a lot. She worked with me every day and asked if I was stressed and what she could do. And I made a lot of close friends because of her, and I'm really close to her now as well.
Hello everyone, my name is Zara Fugman. I joined St. Andrews in 6th grade and I'm now in 9th grade at Notre Dame. I graduated with the class of 2024. The one thing I would say that St. Andrews helped me, or the skill that St. Andrews taught me that has helped me the most in high school so far has been independence and confidence. I came into St. Andrews from elementary school very shy, very reserved, and not super social. My thing was kind of to sit around with a book. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. But I found that coming into middle school, I really flourished in my ability to speak, in my ability to stand up for myself, and to have confidence around other people. And that has really helped me, that independence in high school, as I start taking different classes with a whole new group of people in a very different environment. And just the ability to speak up for what I need has really been helpful.
Yes. Hi, I'm Amelia Fugman. You just met my daughters. We came to St. Andrews from a public elementary school, so kind of a unique transition into St. Andrews. And when I chose St. Andrews, I was really looking for a school that, yes, had the strong academics, which I think you'll hear from everybody here. It absolutely does. The kids are very prepared for high school and flourish there. But also a school that had a very strong community. All of you are already part of this community, so I think you understand that. And that really had a broad enrichment program. So we have a great music program, a great art program. The Spanish program I have not seen it at any other school that I have visited. I'm sure you will find the same thing. Students come out of here and enter into Spanish 2 and most often Spanish 3 and find that incredibly easy. I think Connor just said he's still reviewing what he learned here. I think that's very special. And then what Zara said is that I found that my kids have just, this small classrooms, the very safe environment, the warmth and welcoming of the teachers has really allowed them a safe place to kind of take social risks and academic risks that I think you might not find at another school. And I've seen that really empower them to be excellent students and to feel confident speaking up for themselves. If they struggle with a test or a subject, they feel very confident going to the teacher and saying, I'm not understanding, or can I take a retest, or even when they've struggled socially, both my girls have really utilized that advisory program that we have in middle school to go to their advisor and seek support there, and those advisors have been incredible. So I can't say enough good about the middle school here.
Hello everyone, I'm George and I'm a current junior at Harker. I joined St. Andrews in 5th grade, and I think one of the most memorable things for me in St. Andrews was probably the music program. I think St. Andrews Middle School has this really nice environment where you can try out like new programs that you've never participated in before. For example, before I joined St. Andrews, I never tried flag football or volleyball, but then I participated in the teams and had a lot of fun. I also picked up guitar in middle school, and I still play to this day. I played a lot during our school performances. And then I also joined the orchestra here, which was a really good first step into joining both high school orchestra and an orchestra outside of school. So yeah, I'm really glad to have had the really supportive environment of St. Andrews.
Hi there, everyone. My name is James. I'm George's father. In fact, my family has been very strongly bonded to St. Andrews since George joined at his first day in 5th grade. For many years, George, it's not rare for us to come back to St. Andrews because George joined the high school fairs every year on behalf of Harker to come back to St. Andrews to meet his old friends as well as the teachers, the principals, a lot of familiar faces over here. So we are so glad that George had been built like a well-rounded student by St. Andrews before he joined Harker. In fact, to my knowledge, a lot of students graduated from Harker. They behaved so well in different high schools so far because Harker is, St. Andrews is quite academically strong in almost every aspect, including Spanish, math, a lot of things, English, of course. So don't be worried about your child's future in the high schools. Although St. Andrews doesn't have a plan to build a high school for itself, but the kids could be very, very well prepared for the future. So we are so grateful for all the things from St. Andrews so far, and in fact, George would also join next high school fair in 2025 for the very last time for this role because he's already junior now. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruth. I'm a junior at Archbishop Moody High, and St. Andrews prepared me really well academically. I can definitely agree with Connor, like the Spanish program was really strong here. I remember like on my first day of Spanish in high school, the teacher was like, "Oh wait, you're from St. Andrews, right?" I love their teachers. I definitely think that Spanish here is like the main reason that I succeed in Spanish in high school because my elementary school was a lot weaker. The teachers here were really supportive, and the faculty start from like ground zero. Like as a student who joined in 6th grade, it was really helpful for me. And also the people in my grade were just fantastic. I'm like great friends with a lot of them still. So yeah, definitely middle school was a great experience for me.
Hi everyone, my name is Robin. I'm Ruth's mom. We joined St. Andrews when she was in 6th grade. We came from a very small school, and what draws us over here is the whole person education offered by St. Andrews here. We love the leadership opportunity offered by St. Andrews. We love the service opportunities offered here. And I want to echo Ruth, we love the Spanish program, absolutely loved it. It's the one reason, the only reason why she's so successful in her high school, in her Spanish program. Cannot speak any more about it. And as Ruth mentioned, she is still in touch with her St. Andrews friends even now. So it's really a great, bonding experience. So love the school here.
Hello, my name is Lee, Rutland Lee, I'm Bruce's dad. I want to just be real quick, you're not gonna regret it. That's it. Choose St. Andrews.
Hi, my name is Liam Hopkins, and one thing I appreciate about St. Andrews is how easy they made the transition from middle school to high school, especially with the application process. They gave you a lot of advice and counseling with the actual essays and applications, and also they gave you time to work on it during school. Another thing I really liked is all the opportunities you get. I was able to pick up an instrument, the trumpet, get to learn something new, which I haven't played before. So.
Do you mind sharing your year and where you're attending
Oh,
high
sorry.
school? No problem.
Currently a sophomore at St. Francis.
Good evening, parents. I'm Trisha Hopkins. My family and I have been with St. Andrews for 6 years, so it's my pleasure to be here to share with all of you, so hopefully some helpful insights to being a middle school parent. I have a 4th grader here, and of course, I'm mom to this young gentleman here, whose style, I might add, has changed so much, I can hardly recognize him. But what I do recognize and still stays with him is the confident young man who graduated from St. Andrews a couple grades back, who was fully equipped with the power skills, the strong work ethics, lasting friendships, amazing memories, and an academic record that he was truly proud of. And I was so proud of him for that. As a parent, I had to change my communication style and my parenting style. I was kind of a helicopter mom. And communication style because he was entering the teen years. So it was a bit of adjustment because St. Andrews truly empowers our children to take ownership of their own learning pathway. So for me to take a step back, that was a bit of a change for me. But it was very welcoming because I had more free time to volunteer with the school, so I really appreciate that. But in the end, it made for easier parenting for me because the whole process was handled so well. And for him to step up and take pretty much control of everything and say, hey mom, these are my 1, 2, and 3 choices for high school. And by the way, this is my top choice. And for him to work towards that on his own, and in the end say, I got this, mom. And for me to think, I know you got it, but can you just involve me in the process, include me, let me ride along with your glory. And that to me is what really St. Andrews did for us, is they really prepared us, made the process easy, and they made it fun along the way. These kids have such great memories, that's why they're back. That's it. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Trevor. I'm a senior at St. Francis, and I joined St. Andrews in 4th grade. And I'd say that St. Andrews just teaches you so many lessons, not just academically, but also socially. I joined high school with only 2 people I knew from St. Andrews, and I had no problem thriving and making new friends there. And it also taught me lessons I need to work hard to achieve what I want to, achieve my goals through sports or in the classroom. And yeah, my overall experience at St. Andrews was great.
All right, Trevor, I'm gonna have you brag. Can you talk about your next step?
Oh yeah, and next year I'm gonna play football at U Chicago.
And as a mom of 3 athletes, I know just how challenging that is and how hard you work to be able to be a student athlete that chose a school to play football and also follow your academic dreams. So super proud of you and everyone here. And I know we'll have you guys back when you make your choice for your next step after high school too. So there's a lot of steps to come. So thank you all for sharing. I know it's really about that transition to middle school, but I think it's helpful to see it, see these kids as they move on and grow. And it comes back to, Aria talking about her locker, right? Which is big. I have been out there in that hallway in 6th grade when they're learning their locker and when they're learning about the homework, and it is a change. And then it's the change that you've heard from some of the parents and how, we're talking and working and interacting with our children. But just know St. Andrews is here to partner with you as you go through the journey. Does anyone have questions for our panelists? I hope you will ask because they're here and they took their time. So please raise your hand if you have a question. We have some time.
I'd love to hear what's one piece of advice you would give a 5th grader going into 6th grade.
Where we're gonna record for. So the question was a piece of advice for 5th graders. So how about the students? Take it, just go along the way. Aria, you have a piece of advice?
So I guess the one piece of advice, I'll keep it short but sweet, don't stress about it. I know sometimes going into middle school can be a little daunting and it can get a little anxiety about it. It's a lot of change, I understand that, getting lockers, new workloads, new teachers. But I wouldn't stress about it because the teachers are very accommodating and they're willing to work with you in all aspects. If you just need to talk to them about something, they're ready to help you with school, so they make the transition really easy. So don't stress about it.
George, Connor, Ruth, anyone want to add to that?
So in 6th grade, it's very different than lower school. You're now responsible for communicating with your teachers. So just one advice I would give is don't be afraid to reach out. I made that mistake early on. I was worried that I would be judged or looked down on if I asked my teachers for help, and it made it a lot more difficult. So just ask your teachers when you need to.
One piece of advice I would give is to always try new things. I know I tried guitar in 7th grade, loved it. I play every day now. When I need to take a break from studying, I always go back to guitar. I have a lot of fun with my friends in high school, so I think St. Andrews is a really great environment if you want to get started in something new.
I would just second what Connor said. Think similar to, I forgot your name, but you said you're really shy, in 5th grade, and I was too, but in 6th grade is when I really started taking that step forward socially. So I would say just to not be afraid to reach out, not only to your teachers, but to the people around you, because mentally it can be hard, but ultimately the community is so good here in St. Andrews. Kids are really, really nice. So I wanted to say that I know this is important to do your entire life, but I think middle school is really the time for you to address your fears, and I think that if you communicate those to your teachers, then it's the best place to work on them. For example, when I was in 6th grade, we had a TED Talk project, and I'm afraid of public speaking, and so in the middle of my project in front of my class, I ran out of the classroom crying. When I told my science teacher about that, she's been working with me for the past 3 years now, so that I can be here where I am in front of you without too much stress about it.
Well, I gotta say my sister stole my point about the TED Talk project. I was gonna talk about it for a different reason. So in 6th grade, like she said, we had the opportunity to create and give a TED Talk. The theme was advice you would give your early 6th grade self. So I've got some ideas prepared. Mine, I talked a lot about managing your time. So as many people have said throughout this panel and this first question even, coming into middle school it's much different than elementary school. You have homework, you have work to do, you have to talk to your teachers, and coordinating all this can be stressful. And it can be especially stressful if you don't plan out what you're gonna do. Especially for me, I'm a planner. And so I really appreciated the support that teachers and the whole school gave in helping us to manage our time and understand here's what you need to do to be successful. So, yeah.
I would say try new things. Whether it's sports or student council or going out for the musical, you never know what you're interested in. You're so young. Like if you've never tried half these things, like if you kind of love for volleyball or flag football or speaking. Like I remember, so Zara has said she's shy, but I only remember her last year. She was our vice president, and I remember her giving so many speeches in front of everyone. And like now she's so good at talking, and just try something new.
Yeah, along with what everyone's been saying, I'd say just be open-minded, because you're gonna meet new people and have new opportunities, and to really get the best experience, you need to take those chances and really just find what you like. And I think St. Andrews does a good job with that.
Can I jump in? How about some advice for parents whose kids are transitioning into middle school? And my advice for that is just like give them some space and give them that independence. I know they're like your little babies. They're in elementary school. They're 5th grade. They're coming into 6th grade. They're going to have opportunities to say like, well, Mom, I'm not ready to come home after school. I'm going to walk to the library. Let them. There's a lot of, we live in a safe area. Just start to back off some of those fears, because it really gives them that ability to then show what they're capable of.
I wanted to say, sorry, one way my mom has done this for me is I bike to school every day. I was never able to bike out alone before I started doing this, but now even on Wednesdays, I bike to downtown Los Gatos by myself. And because I'm able to do that now, I can feel myself growing and becoming so much more mature and so much more confident in myself. So I agree with my mom. I think that's important. I'm really grateful that she did that for me.
Do a parent? We'll go for it. We're just gonna go around with some parent advice. If you got it.
I would actually just echo what Liam had said. Parents as well, not just the kids, but parents, don't worry about it. The middle school years, maybe I'm being sentimental because this is my last one here at St. Andrews. They go by fast, just like the lower school years, but enjoy it. Don't worry about high school. Don't worry about, beyond, because the school will take care of all of that. The kids will grow. They'll do awesome. Just really, enjoy middle school and don't stress about it.
I was a helicopter parent. When my daughter was in elementary school, we were very much involved, a lot of volunteering in the school. But in middle school, we find that we need to transition our parenting style. We need to give her more room. And the school here is very, very supportive. So you know that your child and your children are in good hands. And they can grow their independence. And so, so for the parents, just let it go.
Just one point to add, which is that based on Mr. Burgess talked about, you need to ask your kids to take advantage the 3 years to have good sleep, because it will be very challenging in any high schools in the area. So take a good rest to be healthy and take their interests as many as possible. Yeah, just take advantage of this period. It's so important. Thank you.
When we were applying for high school, they wanted to know what your kids were into and the number of hours per week that they're doing it. So my advice for entering 6th grade is that have your kid identify what their interests are. And St. Andrew provides an excellent platform for that, because they can explore the music program, leadership service, sports, and they can all have that reflected into their profile, if you will, for high school. And the number of years to back it up, so that come 8th grade, they're just not showing, they did something for like 6 months or a year only, that they're really into this. They really love service learning, they really love music, they really love sports. So for St. Andrews to be able to provide programs after school programs, like the music program or the art program, for you to be able to do that all on campus. That's the best time to take advantage of it and have them start early so they can learn, hey, maybe I'm not into music, maybe I'm more of a sports kid, but I can do both because, hey, I can do this sports, that sports, and maybe offset it with something else. And the best time to do it is right away so that things are not as challenging because it's a progressive program here at St. Andrews. The homework will increase, testing will be a little bit harder, I would say. So yeah, and they have projects that they have to coordinate with their friends in the later grades. So it's time to start in 6th grade because that's when it's still kind of like manageable and for them to be able to have the opportunity to explore a lot more stuff.